Good evening, and welcome to Mike Verba'S Rock Concert. Rock. Good evening, welcome to another episode of Mike Verba'S Rock Concert. I'm Mike Verba, and tonight's episode will be a lesson in brutality. We're going to explore two of my favorite bands of all time, starting out with the number one band on my list, my favorite band ever, the Napalm Gods from England, Napalm Death. It's kind of a funny story on how I started liking Napalm Death. It was around, the beginning of the 90s, and punk was dead. I was listening to a lot of the early industrial electro music. I worked in a medical supply warehouse in the shipping department, and the only form of music we had was an old boombox with a cassette player on it. So I would supply all the music for us guys who worked in the shipping department. And I had a supervisor who was a kind of a jerk and didn't really like metal, and so there was a local radio station from here in Jersey, a college station, that from 2 to 6 in the morning played all death and black metal. So I used to throw cassette tapes in there and record them, and then the next morning I would play them, in my warehouse just to annoy my supervisor. Liked death metal, that screaming, growling metal, until Barney came along. Once I heard Barney, the most brutal vocalist ever in the world, I really started liking this band, Napalm Death. So, from all this, I really started getting back into brutal, heavy music again. Barney became my favorite vocalist, and I really started getting into the death metal scene. And then one day on my favorite college radio station, they were giving away tickets to go see Napalm Death. So I called up and I won the tickets. And that in turn put me into a drawing for a whole Napalm Death package, where you could win the whole CD catalog, t-shirts, stickers, whole Napalm package, So I got put in that drawing. And then I won that. I won the drawing, so I had the whole Napalm catalog, and I had 2 tickets to go see him. And this was quite a trip. It was at a tiny little place up in Portchester, New York, and I didn't drive, so I had to take a train from here in Jersey over to Penn Station, New York, then take a bus to Grand Central Station, then take a train up to Portchester, and the whole journey took me 5 hours to get up there. This was back in 1997, and At the Gates was on the bill. It was At the Gates and Napalm Death, and there were a whole bunch of local bands supporting it. And in the middle of, the show started out, it was brutal, a lot of good opening bands, and when At the Gates was playing, they had a power outage, and all the power in the place went out. It took them about 2 hours to get everything up and working again. And by that time, everybody had left, except me, because I came 5 hours away. I had nowhere to go, so I was at a bar down the street drinking, and then checking back every now and then to see if the power would come back on, and then I walked back there, and they got the power back on, and the place was empty. There was maybe 10 people left in the whole place, but Napalm, they were there. They decided they're going to play, so I literally had a private show with me and 9 other people with Napalm Death. It was the most brutal show, ever. And from that day on, they just were number one on my list. One amazing thing in that package that I won from the radio station, the Napalm Death package, there was a VHS tape, and it had some band videos on it, and it had a live performance on it from 1990 in England, and the kids were just lining up on the stage, on the side of the stage, and just running off and diving into the crowd and stage diving. And my kids, I have a son and daughter. My son was 6, my daughter was 4 at the time. They used to put this tape in and just go crazy in my living room, diving off the chairs, diving off the couch, and just have a blast watching this tape. And one day I came home from work, and my 4-year-old daughter, you know, something was bothering her. She had something on her mind. She wanted to tell me, but she wouldn't tell me, you know. So all day I'm saying, Sam, what is it? You know, did your mother yell at you? Was your brother picking on you? I had no idea what was on her mind, you know. And she just kept holding it in all day, and she wanted to tell me something. I'm like, Sam, tell me what's on your mind, you know. And later on that night, I was just sitting there, and she came up to me, and she was ready to tell me what was bothering her, you know. I'm like, good, Sam, tell me what's going on. And she picks up a wooden spoon, and she comes right up next to me in my face, and she puts it up like a microphone, and she says, "Suffer the children." And I died right there. It was the most amazing thing I'll never forget. Suffer the children! Now, here they are performing one of their most brutal songs from the Time Waits for No Slave album, live at the Starland Ballroom on the brink of extinction.
Loosely, this one's about evolution, loosely about a great overseer called Charles Darwin, so you might know him. Yeah! This one's called On the Brink of Extinction. Fuck yeah!
I woke up from that great road trip up to Port Chester, New York to see Napalm Death and At the Gates, one of the things that I remembered the most was one of the opening bands, this brutally heavy band from up in the Connecticut area, one of the local bands that, opened up the whole night, was a band that would eventually become one of my all-time favorites, with one of my all-time favorite, most brutal vocalists in the world. That band was a band called
I remember talking to a friend about the Sopranos one day, and they were asking me, because I'm from New Jersey, whether it was a good depiction of New Jersey life, or whether I didn't like it. And I said, no, I like the Sopranos, and it's a pretty good depiction of life in New Jersey, except for one thing that I would change. Instead of seeing a Slipknot poster in AJ's bedroom, Tony's son, you'd no doubt see a Hatebreed poster, or you'd see him walking around wearing a Hatebreed hoodie, or you'd see Christopher driving down the road in his car, and Before Dishonor would definitely be blaring out the window, because you can't depict New Jersey youth anyhow, any way, without some way including Hatebreed in it.
I used to write for this online rock website a few years back, and I did CD reviews and articles about the shows that I went to, and I had listed in my band favorites the band Hatebreed, and some of the other writers who were from other parts of the country didn't like Hatebreed, they were always busting my chops about it, and I did a CD review on one of their albums, and it got some criticism. And me being from Jersey, I was in shock. I was really in shock. I couldn't believe that there were actually people out there that didn't like Hatebreed. I mean, in Jersey, everybody likes Hatebreed. I grew up with it, and it just goes without saying. And to me, not liking Hatebreed was just blasphemy. Hatebreed is one of those bands that, when they play in Jersey, I'm there. I've seen Hatebreed more than any other band except War. And no matter when, no matter where, no matter whether I have plans or not, when Hatebreed plays Jersey, T-God's usually there. Hatebreed's gone through a lot of changes lately. Jamie Jost is doing the solo stuff. Sean Martin is gone, so I don't know about the future of Hatebreed. Now they're playing here in Jersey, but they're opening up for All That Remains and Five Finger Death Punch. Now, if you ask me, All That Remains and Five Finger Death Punch can't lick Jamie and Chris Beatty's boots, or their sneakers for that matter. But here's a live video of Hatebreed doing a cover of Slayer, Ghosts of War, with Frank Three Gun and their original guitarist Wayne at the Starland Ballroom. Ghosts of War, Hatebreed.
We've been through so much shit, and it's been over a year since we toured, and there was a lot of problems that we went through, but we came out on top, and this show is fucking pretty positive, and we're still there. One of the bright sides, one of the things that really made us rethink the whole history and the whole future of the band over this past year was our original guitar player Wayne rejoining Hatebreed. We are touring right now in support of an album we recorded all our favorite bands. So right now we're going to pay tribute to Slayer. This is Ghosts of War!
wraps up another episode. I'm Mike Verba, and we'll be seeing you again on the next episode of Mike Verba's Rock Concert.